Boxing Federation, and those two will be introduced to the ring shortly. So as I say there, protests, appeals put in there, a welterweight and middleweight. I was wondering when we saw that middleweights would be next if there was going to be an appeal at welter, because it was so close. Who knows, maybe there'll be one at cruiserweight as well, because that was a 3-2 split. And you can put that protest in, the technical delegate and the review jury will first of all decide whether they feel it's worthy of it, and if they do, then they will watch the whole thing back through and they will come to their conclusion. We've had a number of them during the course of the week. We've had very few results that have actually been overturned, but this is all part of the process in a bid to make sure that everything is as fair and as transparent as it can possibly be. And Ron, that's only right. That's only right. This is the biggest stage of all, and everybody needs to feel like at every turn they've been treated with absolute equality and fairness, because that's what sport is.
Absolutely. It's one of the few areas of life where you can get what you deserve if you put in and are declared the victor and it's fair and just. Oftentimes life outside of sport doesn't work like that, but if you cross the line first in an athletics race, touch the pool first in a swimming race, you are the winner. Sometimes those things don't come to light outside the realm of sport, and the AIBA boxing judges and the organization themselves are working as diligently as they possibly can, as we see Roy Jones Jr. on the right of screen and Roberto Camarelli on the left. But everybody involved working as diligently as they can to ensure that results are as fair and above board as possible. AIBA today have just launched the announcement or the implementation of an integrity unit. They've owned up that things haven't always been done correctly in the past. These are AIBA's words in the statement that they put out today. But an integrity unit will be established and brought into being next year, and that will ensure that everything is as it should be, and the boxers and the coaches and the delegations can focus solely on the boxing rather than other things surrounding it. So the announcement of that integrity unit is a significant step indeed, prioritizing fair play and that the athletes get what they deserve by virtue of their performances in the rope square.
Well, that's what's going on behind the scenes. They're having a look at those protests. They're evaluating those protests at welterweight and at middleweight. And as we say, it comes as no surprise that Team USA has appealed that razor-thin 3-2 split against Okazawa. Personally, I think it just could have gone either way. I don't think you could look at it and say that it was wrong. On another day, he might have got it, Omari Jones. Today, he didn't get it. That would be my guess. And in terms of the 4-1 in favour of Fernandez against Dzhanbelet Bishamov, I can understand why the Russian Boxing Federation have put in a protest on that one as well. But I wouldn't really expect to see that one changed either. As I say, over the course of the 2 weeks, a number of protests have gone in, but very few results have actually been overturned. It used to be the case that you could only do it in case of a 3-2, but now you can do it in the case of any points decision, 5-0, 4-1, 3-2. So Rishi just striding into the middle of the ring, and our super heavyweights will be with us shortly.
Indeed, and just following on from what you said about the appeals process, each team given 3 reviews for the tournament, and in the event that the bout review system, the appeal is unsuccessful, you lose that review. So a maximum of 3, which is lost if the appeal is deemed to be unsuccessful and the result is not overturned.
So in many ways, you want to keep your powder dry for the medal bouts. But having said that, any fighter at any stage of the competition, they'll want that protest put in if they feel that it was justified. We did see one in the later rounds, actually, Hovhannes Bachkov. They protested his result, which was very, very close against Somchuan of Thailand, and that went back the other way. Bachkov then ran into Andy Cruz in the semi-finals and was eliminated. I saw him down in the pool area today. He never would have known he'd fought yesterday. It's amazing the powers of recovery that these athletes have. So here we go, super heavyweights. I had my first look at Chaloyan in the semi-finals yesterday, and you couldn't help but be impressed with his victory against Mohamed Abdullayev. He's enormous, he moves well, and he can box. There's not much not to like about him, is there?
Chalayan, very impressive indeed. It's his first appearance at a World Senior Championship. The 24-year-old came in to Belgrade 2021 with a bronze medal finish at the World Military Championships in Moscow, but throughout the tournament, he has claimed some terrific scalps, including Pan Am Games silver medalist Christian Salcedo from Colombia and the Ukrainian Olympian Sotney Rogava. Very impressive indeed, about over 200 centimeters tall, wonderful mover and punch picker, and this man, completely different in stature.
He's been amazing, Pетровский. I've seen all his fights over in Ring B and then the semi-finals. He's a small super heavyweight, and everybody he's been in with, apart from Zhelan Congo, has been miles bigger than him, starting with Ricardo Brown, an absolute giant of a man from Jamaica. You could say the same of Melvi Tiafak of Germany. He had scores of 28-28 against both of them and to turn those cards around, final round wins, and then he beat Nigel Paul, who was having a very good tournament in the semi-finals. Yesterday, he's given away size and weight and punch power consistently, but he's been tremendous. He's been absolutely superb. He's shown incredible grit. You look at the shadowing, the bruising around his eyes there, and he's carried that basically all the way through, and he'll need every ounce of the skill he showed and the grit that he showed against this man. I have a feeling the Chalayan might just be a bit too much for him, but I've thought that before, and I've been proved wrong. So touchy gloves between the two. Shamila Borkoeva of Kyrgyzstan in charge of this one. Chalayan in the red. He's boxing from Armenia. That's Pетровский in the blue of the Russian Boxing Federation. So here we go, the super heavyweight final. And Chalayan just seeing if he can get on that jab early on. Pетrovский is not an easy man to catch on the way in. Everybody has found that, but the fighters that he's boxed, although they've had the size on him, haven't always used that size with the lead hand. And Petrovский gets one away there. He moves that head, and as I say, he'll get onto the front foot. He won't give any ground to Chalayan here. Switches southpaw quite early in the fight. Lead right hand, I think, found the target there. And left upstairs was half blocked, but he's getting through with some scoring punches early on here to Petrovский. Chalayan just needs to try and settle here, I think. And what's happened here? And I think there's maybe a little bit of damage to the corner of the left eye. Clash of heads was the indication there from the referee. And I think that was probably some damage maybe from, well, it could have been some damage from a previous contest, or it could be fresh. When I looked at his eyebrow there, it did look a little bit banged up, but when I look at where the cut is, I think that's probably a new one. So that's something for him to think about early on. Steps into the 1-2, finds a right to the body, but a left comes back there from Petrovский, who's got quick hands. He's got quick hands for super heavyweight. Chalayan's aren't slow either. Petrovский looking for that left, and he kind of half landed it, but he's taking it to his opponent here, which is exactly what he's done in the competition so far. Chalayan just backing up, gives himself a bit of room, throws the right hand, but a left hand again comes back there from Petrovский. I think the heads might have cracked together on the inside there once again. Petrovский was stuck in no man's land there for a second and then launched himself into a left hand. Chalayan, for the first time, starts letting his hands go. Good accuracy there. A number of them crashed into the guard, but they're still going to have an effect. And a couple did get through. And that's where Petrovский cannot be. And the referee has given a standing count off the back of that combination punching from Chalayan in the corner over on the left-hand side. I don't think there was a real single clean blow in there for me, which would have ordinarily made me think it was a standing count, but the referee's a lot closer. And in AIBA boxing, that doesn't translate to any particular score in any case. So inside the final minute, and this is interesting, while he's been taken over to the doctor again here. It doesn't look to me like that's too bad. But the way this fight has gone so far, the first minute, Petrovski's, the first 90 seconds maybe, Petrovski's, I would say, landed some decent shots, was quite aggressive. And then the final 30 seconds, well, the last 30 seconds we've seen, Chaloyan has just found his distance a bit, and he does again there, and Petrovski cannot get caught there. He's in mid-range, and the big man is setting his feet, the Armenian in red, and he has got rapid hands too. 5-6 punches thrown, maybe 2 get through clean, but the rest, as I say, they still have an effect. They put miles on that clock because these are solid shots. And again there, Petrovski leaning in. He cannot be there. He cannot be there, or he's going to find himself in real trouble. And he looks just a little bit loose at the knees there, Petrovski, towards the end of the round. He took some heavy artillery, comes in behind a big winging right hand, and I think this final minute has actually taken quite a lot out of the tank of Petrovski. You can never write him off because of what he's done previously, but that was a big final minute of the round for the big man.
Terrific response once again. I think Chalayan has taken that first round after a blistering start by Petrovski, whose bent-arm aggression was serving him very well indeed. Hooks crashing around the corner, but the response from Chalayan was notable, and he's taken it on a 4-1 split. The judge from Poland preferring the work of Petrovski. But Chalayan, what a competitor this man is, and what a boxing brain he has, because so many times in the tournament against Sotney Rugavov against Ukraine, he changed his tactics in the second round to sticking and moving. Then he did it against Christian Salcedo. Then we saw him give movement, variety and angle to Muhammad Abdullayev yesterday, and trying to box the man on the back foot in the early stages. He thought at some point, you know what, forget this, and put the puncher, the pressure fighter, under pressure and turn around in his favor.
Big finish to the round, and that for me made him the round winner because he was doing some damage. The heavy shots, as I say, maybe 2 out of 5, 2 out of 6 were getting through, but the others, they take gas out of that tank for later on. And again, early in the second here, he finds Petrovski at that range. He's locking on here, Chalayan, and gets through with a jab. And Petrovski tried to move forward behind a guard, and he stopped moving that head that he was moving in the first round. He's just trying to tough this out, Petrovski, and we know that he's capable of doing that. But I just wonder, against someone like Chalayan, whether that's going to prove to be too much for him. He just leans in there and he looks weary because he's getting hit, and he's getting hit hard here by a big super heavyweight. Right hand just slipped in around the back of the guard there, I think, from Chalayan. Goes to the body. Petrovski just trying to throw back. He knows he needs to try and throw something back, but there's not much on those punches. He's taken some stick in this competition so far, the man in blue. Just a little left hand there from Chalayan, then turns that right over. And Petrovski just walking in now, tries to let that left hand go. Midway point of the round. Chalayan's thrown a lot in the first 90 seconds of this round. He's maybe feeling it a bit too. That mouth open a touch, just looking at the big screen over Petrovski's shoulder, but then digs those toes in and finishes on the uppercut. And there's not been a lot coming back from Petrovski in this round. He's still trying to get onto the inside or into that closer range where he needs to be, but he's just getting caught on the way in because he's been hit enough that the head movement has gone, and Chalayan is able to give himself the space he needs and tee off on him, really. It's testament to his toughness, Petrovski, that he's never really looked like coming apart at any stage into the final minute of the round. Left hand got through there from Petrovski, just as Chalayan was trying to aim a big lead left hook himself. That cut hasn't proved to be any kind of further problem in the second round, and again just knocks Petrovski onto his heels with a right hand, but the Russian gamely still comes forward here, and this is what we've had from him every fight for 2 weeks. He just stepped to his right there, looked to throw that left hand down the middle, and that round of applause from the crowd there. This is for the Russian, because people they're recognizing pure spirit, warrior spirit and fighting instinct. Massive right hand there from Chalayan, and Petrovski somehow still manages to keep coming forward. It's pretty extraordinary, this. It really is. This is a Chalayan's round all day long. But he has hit Pетровский with everything there. And the Russian is still standing. Quite remarkable.
Still standing, still coming forward, and still pitching his own heavy leather. Extraordinary round. But Chalayan, the volume that he's able to put out, many of the shots being caught on the gloves and forearms of the man in blue, but uppercuts all getting through the middle. And Petrovski's taking it on a 4-1 split. My goodness, I find that extraordinary. Wow. Chalayan's volume and accuracy, I thought, was enough. Pетровский landed some heavy shots of his own, but I thought he came off second best in the exchanges, and I thought the punch output of the man in red kept the man in blue occupied. But big singles like that, where he kept on firing, have seen him take it for 4 of the scoring judges to give us a really interesting context going into this final round.
I find that amazing, quite honestly. So it's 1 card apiece, 20 points to 18. The other 3 are level at 19-19. He had his successes there, Petrovский. He was coming forward, landing some singles, but Chalayan just got his feet into range, let his hands go, and was hitting him hard and often. Not everything was getting through, but enough was. But anyway, never mind that. That's the situation we have going into the final round. There are 3 drawn cards. They both need to try and take 2 of them. 30 seconds in. Chalayan and Pетrovский just having a little bit of a wrestle. Petrovski's head almost disappearing out of the ring there. Referee just warning the pair of them about heads. Petrovский just short with the overhand left there. Chalayan trying to catch him on the way in. Petrovский coming forward, leans in. A minute gone in the final round. Petrovский still coming forward, still somehow managing to summon up the energy. Let's a right followed by a left go there. And both of these two are really feeling this now. They're both tired. And the referee just telling them to listen when she issues the instruction to stop boxing midway through the round. And single right there from Chalayan, but a single left from Pетrovский in reply. And it's got messy because the batteries of both of these two are just running down, and this now will just come down to who wants this more in the last 80 seconds, who can hold things together that little bit better. There was a left off the back foot there from Chalayan, but Petrovский comes into him, moves into him. Chalayan did put a hell of a lot into that second round. He threw loads and loads of punches. We thought enough to win him the round, but the judges thought differently, and I think it's taken a good degree out of him. And in terms of their energy levels, they're probably about even as we get into this final minute. Petrovский throws, dips in, and you can just see him heaving the breath in there, looking for the right hand there. Chaloyan landed that one down the middle. Petrovский just leaning into the ropes there. Let's go with the left hand. Chaloyan just pulls his weight back, can't quite find the distance for that right hand, and Petrovский again just kind of ties him up. They're both happy enough, I think, there to nick a little bit of a breather, to be honest with you. Blood coming from that cut on the left eye of Chaloyan again there. I think it's a different one. It's a second cut, another clash of heads. And the doctor, well, just wipes the blood away. We've got a handful of seconds remaining here, and there's the clash. There's the clash. Right at the very end of their respective campaigns is this pair, and steps into a 1-2 there. Chaloyan, Petrovский swinging right until the very end, catches him with a left. Just trying to let those hands go, Petrovский. Final few seconds as he leans into his man on the ropes. There goes the bell, and what a final fight we've had on finals day one. That was absolutely sensational, right from the beginning, right until the end. I said at the start that I thought that Chaloyan might just finally have too much for Petrovский, that the Russian might just run into someone who was that much too big and that much too skillful as well. The skill and the size combined, I thought, might just prove fatal for him. And I did feel myself that Chalоян would have pulled ahead after that second round, but Pетровский got it on the cards, and that final round, not much in that, was there?
Back and forth action all the way through, and again, the sight of the comparatively diminutive Mark Pетrovский willing his way forwards despite the punishment and the punches that he's taking. It really is dramatic. Fantastic chin, incredible conditioning. Some clashes of heads between the two boxers, but my goodness, which way is this one going to go? 20 points to 18 scorecards each way, 3 level scorecards. Here's the verdict.
With your judges ruling in favor of your winner by points, declared by split decision to the blue corner.
Pетrovский gets it on a split in that final round. He's got it with all 5 of the judges, and that is just absolutely phenomenal. 4-1 on the cards. I've had the great pleasure of seeing every single one of his fights, and going into the final round, he's needed something huge so many times, and he's pulled it out so many times. The toughness and the skill of the man is absolutely off the scale, to be honest with you, because he's giving away size every time he gets in there. He's been in with some proper giants in Ricardo Brown, Nelvi Tiafak, Nigel Paul, and now David Chalоян. And that final round, there wasn't a lot in it at all. Petrovski's got it across the board, and he is now the AIBA super heavyweight champion. It's an incredible story. The story of his fights all the way through. Hard won would be the phrase that I would use. I do feel a bit for the red corner there, though, because to be honest, in that middle round, I thought he did a lot of very effective punching and did enough to take the round. But you look at both of them there; they're both banged up. That was an absolute war.
Incredible intensity on display during the course of that gold medal bout in the super heavyweight division. Pетrovский came out aggressively in the first round. Chalоян turned it around very effectively by taking it to the smaller boxer. Gave him a standing count in the opening round. But then Petrovский, even though he's put on the end of accurate punches and volume which kept him occupied, he came forward enough to land hard singles, which gave him the second round on a 4-1 split. And then in the final round, well, again, the sight of the man willing his way forward, backing up his bigger opponent, who's an adept back foot boxer. Maybe it was his almost constant, incessant front foot pressure that was significant in getting him the decision and seeing him crowned as the super heavyweight champion here in Belgrade. An extraordinary performance in the final to cap a remarkable run of performances through the entire tournament. Chalоян in his first World Championships. I know it's the first World Championships for Pетровский as well, but what a find he is going to be on the global scene, the international scene. The 4-time national champion of Armenia, really establishing himself of a boxer of rare skill, movement, and quality for a man so tall. Terrific tournament for both of the boxers. It's gold for Petrovский and it's silver for Chalоян.
Well, what a way to finish the first day. It was an all-out war, and Petrovский had just been in so many of them throughout the course of the competition. An incredible gold medal win for him. It really was. It really was. Time and again, I saw it in ring beat. Him needing something